Now with everything I have, look at that. I can see 2 enchants. Hello everybody and welcome back to some more All the Mods 11. Today, we're gonna be getting into some Apothic enchanting, which is why we're in this dark and scary room. This was a secret room that I found in my base because it used to be a dungeon. Well, technically it still is a dungeon, but it's not anymore. Now it's my home. And I'm gonna use this as my enchantment room. So it's gonna need a little bit of spring cleaning, obviously, but for the most part, it should be fine. We're gonna just cover that. We don't need to know that there's money there. We don't need any looters coming after my house. So we can just go ahead and move our enchantment table over to here, and we'll be able to break this. Just, is there anything good in here? It might be worth keeping around. Okay, so there goes that chest, and now we got all this stuff. That's good. So then we can go ahead and do that. And, ooh, what's that? If you saw that, those were some quests that showed up. The mod pack has updated in version 2.0 of All the Mods 11. Still not quite the full release, but we finally have quests. The bad news is I can't actually use it, as they just ripped it from All the Mods 10. And most of the things from that mod are not in this. So, yeah, we're just gonna ignore that for right now. But it means they are making progress on the mod pack, which is very, very nice. Anyways, though, back on topic. Apothic enchants. It's basically an overhaul of normal Minecraft enchanting, for those of you who don't know. It makes it a bit more intriguing and also a bit more powerful. So, starting off, we've just got ourselves our little enchantment table. What we're then gonna need to do is... Will my Silk Touch hoe help with this? Can I use this to break all the bookshelves here? No problem. And will that not cause issues? Like, can I... Okay, yes, I can.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, I patched up all the holes. I redid a little bit of things in the room. But most importantly, we've also gotten our enchantment set up. Also, is this room lit up? Okay, yeah, no, we got the ceiling lights. Now, some of the design of this room, just as it is innately, is gonna get a bit in the way of some of the bookshelves. As I go up in the levels, that might not be an issue. I don't know for certain, but right now we have ourselves eternal level 22 out of 100. Right now with basic bookshelves, the max I can get to is level 30. Now these are how enchants are decided. Let's say I go ahead and then put in something that doesn't have enchantment. Yeah, you can see right here, these are the levels that I have for these things. We have Eterna, which sets the maximum level that the enchants can be. We have Quanta, which increases the randomness of the enchants and lessens the negative effects, and Arcana, which makes rarer enchantments more common and increases the amount of enchants that you would have on one go. So it's probably very good to be able to max these guys out, although I'm not sure if that's possible. And sometimes it's better to go between into different levels, because as we go along, some things are going to require us to be over a certain level, but not too far over a later level. So it gets a bit funky, but for right now, this is what we have. But how do we upgrade this enchantment setup if this is what we've gotten right here? Well, we're gonna need to get ourselves some variant bookshelves, not just these ones, mind you, no. Ones that'll get me either Quanta or Arcana. Now we're gonna go for the Quanta ones, which is the Hell Shelf, because the Arcana ones require Prismarine, which I don't have at the moment. So for me to get the Hell Shelf, it's very easy. I'm just gonna need to get myself some nether bricks, a normal bookshelf, and a potion of regeneration. Nether bricks aren't too difficult to get. Actually, I might even have some of those left over from my easy piglin. But yeah, most certainly we do actually have some nether bricks, so that is able to get us enough for at least one Hell Shelf. And then for the potion of regeneration, it's just some aqua potions and a gas tier. I already got all that. All right, so I got almost everything for this. I just now need to go ahead and then extract one of these bookshelves from my wall, because it's easier to do it like that rather than just making more bookshelves for other things. And then we can go ahead and get ourselves our Hell Shelf, which with this, we now have ourselves +3 Quanta, and we're also gonna get a little bit more Eterna. And with this, we now have an increase on the maximum we can get. But now that we have ourselves our first bit of quanta, for the next upgrade that we're going to need to get this thing more powerful, we're going to need to infuse our hell shelf. Now that's not difficult. We would just need to put this thing in the enchanter, but we need to have our Eterna at level 45. So it needs to be maxed out, and we need to have our quanta at level 30. You can see we're not close to that at this moment. So we're probably going to need to replace all of these bookshelves with the hell shelves, or at the very least, a good chunk of them. Alrighty, so I managed to get everything. So in total, I needed 3, 4, 5, 6 of the hell shelves. And then I just needed to grab 2 ancient bookshelves because those give me a bit more Eterna than the normal bookshelves. And these guys I just find in the other, so they're not very hard to get. However, I did find out something weird, and I remember having this before. Apparently, these bottom 3 do not actually contribute to the total. So if I were to go ahead and, where is my Silk Touch Hoe? If I were to go ahead and break down this ancient bookshelf, we go down quite a bit. If I put this in here, it doesn't go back up. None of these 3 slots actually contribute to it, but these back corners do. I don't know why it's like this, but it's like this. So we have everything for this now. So I believe then, yeah, we have everything for infusion. I just don't have enough levels for it.
Much later.
Okay, I at last have enough experience. I don't know if this will use all the levels or no, that's just the minimum I need to be at, but it won't use all those levels. Okay, so there we go. Now we've gotten ourselves an infused hell shelf. So what we can go ahead and do then is we can just incrementally take out each of our hell shelves. And since this has the same stats but better, we can just put it back and the cycle will repeat itself until I go below the threshold I am, which will probably be in one more. But that's not gonna be too much of a problem as I found something very fun. I didn't make an experience farm yet, so this was gonna be a bit annoying until I found something. I found a sword that has the ability to give me ancient knowledge. For those of you who don't know what that enchantment does, or not enchantment, that effect does, it increases my experience gain by about 800% was what this thing said it was when I had it equipped. I also have a gem on there that gives me plus 40% experience gained when I kill things. So by just having this in my offhand, this wasn't a Allthemodium sword before, but I just made it so that way it'd be unbreakable. But then I remembered I can just put it in my offhand, use my main sword, and then it'll actually get those effects. Even with apotheosis stuff, it still gets that effect. So that's a thing we can do, so I can get all the experience I will ever need for this now. So will I actually need any more at the moment though? Because if I look at all of my quanta and my Eterna, yeah, I'm gonna wanna put all of them up anyways. And frankly, I may even need the deep shelves because I'm gonna need to get Arcana somehow and it's not looking good. But let's actually see how much experience I actually gain, like actively focusing on this. Oh, that bar's going up. Oh, that's going up so much. Dude. Okay, wait, that's just with it like that. If I go ahead and then just use my actual sword, like, yeah, I mean, it is applying the ancient knowledge anyways. Like, that's, honestly, that was kind of irrelevant for me to do it like that, but that is pretty sick. Alrighty, so, yeah, I got a pretty good way to farm experience, at least for now. I think I am gonna make a mob farm soon, because that's gonna be necessary. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna need a lot of Arcana for the next thing that we're gonna need, because for the deep shelf, we're gonna need to get ourselves level 40 Arcana. We're already there on Quanta, but we're gonna need Arcana, which means we are gonna need the sea shelf. It's not too terrible. I just need a pufferfish, a water bottle, and some prismarine blocks, so I just tore down an ocean monument. So there we go. Now we got that, which will give us just a little bit of our Arcana. So we can go ahead and put that one there. There we go. Now we got ourselves a sea shelf. Then I believe I can just go ahead and do that again with these two. And there we go. Now we're starting to get ourselves those. I believe then also I may have enough to infuse these as well. No, I need to be at level 55 for the infusion. Also, it might require Arcana instead. Yeah, I require 10 Arcana. I'm at 0. Wait, what? Wait, but no. You're not serious, are you? No, that can't be right. No. No, that one had an effect. I'm sure of it. Wait, are you... What? Wait, hang on. Let me break that. That goes down a little bit. No, it doesn't. If we put that there. Wait a minute. What is my limit right now? My limit is 60. Does this not register? What? Wait, hang on. But these were there before. Is there just a hard limit on how many bookshelves I can have? Okay, well now it says 45 rather than 55. So I don't know, maybe I was just seeing things earlier, but there we go. Now we got ourselves our infused sea shelf, which will boost our arcana up by 5. But you know what? It's relatively fine, so we can make this thing work. Oh wait, but that still didn't affect it, did it? Because I don't even know why. Okay, wait, hang on a minute. If I break this one, it's currently at 12. I put this thing down. This one doesn't. These ones worked, and then now these ones started working. What? I don't even know anymore. Okay, I got all the seashells put down, and my arcana is only at level 25. And since I can't get the heart forged, it looks like my only option is going to be to do something a little bit sneaky. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and then take each of these infused hell shells, and we're gonna infuse those with glowstone. I was gonna say, I should have glowstone. That may not be enough for all of it, but yeah, that is a little bit, and that does give us some arcana. All right, so I've changed all of my hell shells to glowing hell shells. So that kind of blocks me off from getting the blazing one, which would be able to get me plus 10 quanta. But with the deep shelves coming into play soon, that won't be a problem. So now we've got everything that we should need, other than making ourselves a dormant deep shelf. And also smelting down these deep slate tiles. I forgot I was supposed to do that. Well, yeah, you just need to grab some cobble deep slate and then just keep making like a formation of this with the cobble deep slate until you get to these deep slate tiles. It's just so much of that for no reason, but there we go. Now we're starting to get ourselves our stuff. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, but now we can go ahead and put that in there. 60. Okay, game. Listen to me. If I go away and get myself to level 60, are you going to then say, oh no, you actually only needed 45 again? Don't do it to me.
Much later.
Okay, I have over 60 levels. If I put this in, okay, good. It still says 60. So there we go. Now we can go ahead and take that thing out. And now our max Eterna will be up to 70, and our Quanta will be gaining 5 and 5 Arcana as well. So that is very, very nice. The question is, what do I want to exchange? Because if I were to break this guy right here, let me guess, this thing won't go up at all. It won't even register that it can go up. So if we put this thing down here, yep, that does flat out nothing. It's kind of just a better version of the glowing hell shells. I could probably just exchange those. Yeah, so then that'll also give us that. So let's see. Yep, now that's up. Okay, so I got a few deep shells here. I didn't replace all the hell shells because I figured, that would just take a bit much, and I still got some progression that I can do right now, so, you know, why spoil the fun? So, what we now need to do is we need to take one of our deep shelves, and then we can upgrade this thing to an echoing deep shelf. We just need a candle. Do I have any good way to get I need honeycombs. This isn't too much of a problem because there's another upgrade called the Soul Touch Deep Shelf. So we'll just remove the Echoing Deep Shelf because both of these will eventually get us to the same goal, which is being able to hold a max of 80 Arcana. Before we do that, we can go ahead and upgrade ourselves to a Soul Touch Deep Shelf, which will get rid of our Arcana but give us 15 Quanta. But then we can upgrade this thing again with some Warden Tendrils, Skulk Catalyst, and some Skulk, and then we'll get our Arcana back with a vengeance. And it'll also give us some enchanting clues if we have this on here as well. So with that, we're now at 80 Eterna. Now then, the last thing on this list for our progressions that we're gonna need before I get the Library of Alexandria, because I mean, that's just gonna take either 4 deep shelves and some outer chests or just any other shelves. But that's not really the main importance. What we really want is to be able to get ourselves infused dragon's breath, mostly because that's kind of important for a lot of things. So we're gonna need to have 80 Eterna. We're there already. Then we're gonna need at least 15 Quanta, but no more than 30. We're well over that. And then we need at least 60 Arcana. The first thing that we're gonna want to do to deal with this is we're gonna want to go ahead and take 2 of those down. And then you can see that does remove our Arcana, but we'll be able to fix that later. Then we're just gonna need to get ourselves a block of emerald and then 4 blocks of gold. Then with that, we can go ahead and make ourselves this deep shelf of arcane treasures. This baby will allow us to have treasure enchants, and it'll reduce our Arquanta and our Arcana. Still not quite enough, so there are other shells that I can get. All I really need to do is just finick with this a little bit and then try to get our Arcana as much as possible. So for now, I'm just gonna play around with this.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Alrighty, I've met all the requirements at the bare minimum. I just needed to grab a couple of different shelves and then mix and match in places. I grabbed another echoing deep shelf. I put down this geode and K shelf, which removes Quanta. So now with that, everything should be good. And I have enough levels. So there we go. Now we have ourselves our infused dragon's breath. Now the reason I wanted this is very simple. In the version I played before of all the mods 9, this ended up being important for the end game. And with the quests finally being added, very soon we may finally have an end game with this mod pack. So that is pretty good. Alrighty, so with that there though, we can finally go ahead and remove this shelf and we can just put it on hold for later. We can go ahead and stick this guy here just for the looks of things. And so there we go. Now we have all that. So now, if I were to put in here, say, my bow, now with everything I have, look at that. I can see 2 enchants. Oh, that is cool. What the heck is endless quiver? We're gonna find out. Let's go. And I also got power. Dude, that is insane. So is that like gonna be infinity? So if I grab myself an arrow, if I just put this on, will this be basically like infinity? Oh, yes, it will. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Okay, so there we go. Now we got ourselves endless quiver with enchants on here. Now we have enchants, but I also have a lot of enchantment books. And with this, we have a better way to store our enchantments. As I had mentioned before, we're gonna want ourselves the enchantment library. This can also be upgraded with different levels of Quanta and Arcana, but wow, that's gonna be even more fine. Oh, I'm definitely not gonna be ready for that. But for this one, we're just gonna need to grab ourselves a couple more deep shelves because that'll be the easiest ones to make.
5 minutes later.
Alrighty, I should have everything for this now. So yes, I do. I'm just in the wrong crafting menu. There we go. Now we have ourselves the enchantment library. So I can just go ahead and slap this baby right over here. It doesn't add anything to this. But now what we can do is I can go ahead and take all of my enchantment books that I have in my storage system out. They're all coming out of here. And we can see that some of these guys, they have multiple enchants. Well, if I go ahead and throw these in here, now I can separate them into each individual books. And I can also even stack the things that I want. Oh, that is beautiful. All right, so now I finally have a place to store all my enchants. And also a bunch of enchants that I'm never even gonna know what they do. I would say that this is a well done day. Now, I'm pretty sure that there is a quest line that is for the enchantment. So how did we do? Oh, would you look at that? We did terribly. Did you like this video? Good. Then be sure to check out our last All the Mods 11 video where we got the Spirit Furnace to automate nether stars. Bye-bye!